Hello and welcome to Dani Golden's podcast. Today, I'm very excited because we have an introduction to numerology podcast that we're going to be talking about all these wonderful things. We are kicking off a three-part series all about numerology, what it is, how it works, and how it can empower you with a deeper self-understanding. I have the lovely numerologist Sue Coffin on, Healing Numbers 22, and she is going to be our guide as part of this three-part series. So here's what you're going to expect. Part one, in this episode, we're going to go over what is numerology, where it comes from, how it works, and how it found its way into our lives. And then in part two, we're going to talk about how the numbers in your personal chart reveal insights about your personality, your life path, and soul purpose, and how to use that knowledge to your advantage. And then in part three, Sue is going to do a real live numerology reading. Well, it won't be live, but you will
It'll be recorded live.
it'll be recorded, but you will get the opportunity to see how it's done. So if you've ever been curious, you'll get to see her doing her best work. And I've had a reading from her, and she's phenomenal. So highly recommend.
Thank
Um,
you.
thank you. Well, thank you. I keep looking to my right. If you're watching this, it's because I have my notes and I don't want to miss anything. Whether you're brand new to numerology or just curious, this series will help give you a grounded, insightful introduction into how numbers can become a tool for a deeper self discovery and alignment. And really, I love numbers, and we'll talk about more of that later. But let's get to today's episode. In part one, we're going to cover what exactly is numerology, my personal journey into discovering numerology, and how numerology can help you understand your path and your purpose, which aren't we all looking for a little blueprint and to help us live this life?
Yeah, most definitely. Right now, especially.
I couldn't agree with you more. Um, okay, Sue, what is numerology?
Numerology is the study of numbers, right? And I study Pythagoras numerology. So that means that I study the numbers 1 through 9.
Okay.
And every number has a vibration, a frequency. It has its own personality. So through your name given at birth, which is very important, and your date of birth, I can help you to understand the energy that makes you who you are and energy that comes in past, present, and future.
I love that. Want to dive into any more of the roots, like you said, like how you started studying it, um, and its evolution into
Yeah,
today, like from your understanding? How do you want
yeah.
to begin?
Um, let's talk about um, the different ways
Okay.
people do numerology because
Yes.
it's all over the world.
Okay.
It's just not real prominent in America. But anyway,
Interesting.
so we have Chaldean numerology, and that doesn't that the number 9 is sacred, so they don't use that in any calculations, which is interesting. Then
That's
we have
very
Kabbalah.
interesting.
We have Kabbalah, and that's the Hebrew letters, and they use the Hebrew letters in the Tree of Life. So that's an interesting concept. I've done a little bit of play with that, but not a lot. We have Vedic and Indian. Vedic numerology, excuse me, is they use planets. So a lot of times you'll hear people say they're astronumerologists.
Mhm.
That's usually a Vedic. And they
Oh,
study that.
interesting. So they're studying
Yeah.
numbers and then and where the planets are.
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah. And they work with the degrees more than anything and how it's
Okay.
matching up with the charts. And then we have Chinese, and that's mostly cultural.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Very
that's,
interesting.
yeah. So there's a little taste of everything all over, but I study Pythagoras. So,
Love it. Um, And what's interesting is what we've, talked about briefly, but we haven't for the audience explained it if they're new to this, is how numbers from your birth date and full name create your personal chart. Do you want to talk about that?
well, like I said, all numbers have a vibration,
Hmm.
right? I have, like, for instance, I have your chart in front of me.
Okay.
You okay with me?
I'm totally, let's do
Sure.
it. This is probably very helpful for the audience to give
Yeah.
context.
All right. So when I look at your chart, I have to mull all these numbers together, and maybe I'll send you some of my charts so that you can share those with people so that
Okay.
they can see this is a little bit of work behind it.
Um,
The life path, I don't know. We're going to explain all that, or is that episode 2?
No, we're going to go into that actually. Let's just jump to the core concepts in numerology and we can use my chart as an example. What are the core concepts of numerology? So let's start with the life path, what it is and how it's calculated. It's a great
Okay.
segue. Thank you.
Yes. So the life path, this is the most important number in the chart because it's the month, day, and year of birth, and this can never be changed. This is solid number, right? We can change our names, but we can't change this. And the life
Right.
path is the stage that you're performing on. So you carry the vibration of this energy, and it acts like law of attraction. It's pulling those things towards you and to help you in this lifetime. And your life path is a 17-8. And when I say 17-8, I want everybody to know I have to take every double digit number and I have to add those together to get the single number, because 17 works different than what, a 26, 8.
Okay.
Everything works different. So the
That's great to
17,
point out. Yeah.
yeah, the 17-8. So I go right to the 8 energy, and 8 is all about power, money, and success, climbing the ladder. Eight, eight is what goes around comes around, right? Because when we
Mhm.
draw the number 8, it's constantly in motion. It's always evaluating. The 17, that adds a layer. That's kind of adds a layer because 7 is right next to the number 8, right? And the 7 energy is the one who likes to research, who likes to study, who likes to dive deep. You don't want a conversation that's idle chit chat.
Yes.
You want to take it into a different level. So this is why you do so well, um,
Thank you.
interviewing and talking to people, because you have that passion of learning, which
Yeah.
is the 7 energy. 8 is a survivor number. It can be knocked down, but it also has the strength to be picked up. It doesn't lay there, whereas I don't have hardly any 8 in my energy at all, my chart. And I would lay on the ground and go, oh my gosh, what just happened? And while you're already up and gone, and say, that's okay, I'm going to just take that, put it in my pocket, and I'm going to go to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not reluctantly, I get up, but I get
Right.
up.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course you do. Yeah. You
Mhm.
have that strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being the life path, that means you're pulling this. You love business. You don't want to flip hamburgers. You want to own the franchise,
Yeah.
right? And this is why you're an entrepreneur. You have other numbers that would suggest entrepreneurship too, but
Mhm.
um, you're not happy underneath somebody else. You got to run the show, girl.
I should have seen you before I went to therapy. It would have saved me a lot of my time and money.
so, so true, so
They just
true.
told me the exact same thing.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about the number 8 is you have to be careful because sometimes there's a level of aggression because you want to get the work done. People can't always keep up with you because you're go, 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 go.
Right.
You have to always be, it's interesting because the number 8 is come up the ranks, right? From 1 to 7. So it's experienced all those energies. So you have learned that, whereas the number 1 is all about self, original, steps outside of the box, never finishes anything, but starts so many things. Eight understands it needs those people behind it. It's not going to
Yeah.
succeed unless it has those people. One
Right.
doesn't one doesn't have a clue about that.
Oh,
Yeah, because one is all about self.
right.
So 8 has that advantage of knowing that there that those people behind you are very important, and the universe wants you to make sure you're always taking care of them.
Right.
You can't get greedy. You can't be egotistical. You can't do any of that stuff because that's when the universe
Oh,
says,
definitely.
you're
Yeah.
down. You got to
Yeah.
pick yourself back up, have some integrity, you
Apologize. Take
apologize.
accountability. Been
Yeah.
there.
Humility, a little
Yeah,
humility, all of that.
definitely. Yeah.
Yes, but you're a leader, definitely a leader, and people look up to you for that because of that number 8.
Yeah.
There was a heavy sigh.
Well, there's a lot of responsibility if you're leading by action and you want to make sure that um I want to make sure I'm always acting with integrity. And it can be hard
Mhm,
sometimes because life presents us with a lot of challenging situations. People don't always work the same way. Their expectations are different. Um, Communication is key, but as spiritual beings, we're really in this body. I was thinking about this the other night and how difficult it is to actually communicate. Like when I get a spiritual message, it's a vision, it's not, or a feeling, it's not
mhm.
words. I don't think the spirit world uses words. And so, us as humans, to try to communicate the complicated feelings that we have arise on the daily is very difficult and it requires practice, much like me training in swimming or surfing and trying to get better at or karate and trying to get better at something. It's this muscle I constantly need to exercise. And in addition to that communication, it's also having that awareness of how might the other person on the side of this, on the other side that I'm speaking with and having this disagreement with, or um, this challenge with, see this. And that requires an extensive amount of getting outside of all my thoughts, all my feelings, and really jumping into their shoes and being like, what could this be like that I'm not seeing? And that's hard. Days, we're, like you said, life isn't always the easiest it can be. And so stopping yourself and requiring that is challenging, but I'm very grateful for that. And I think because of my ability to be able to perfect that, or not perfect it, but like get better at it, it's enabled me to really enjoy the growth that comes from it and get past the struggle and be like, oh yeah, there's another hurdle or I can't believe I just overcame that, or was found a way to make it make this complicated situation, simplify it in a way that was digestible, and now it's no longer a headache.
Yeah, the other thing too is the soul doesn't care if it's good or bad. It's here to experience.
Yeah.
So when you're having one of those experiences where you wanted to stop, the soul is going, all right, this is cool. I'm seeing another side to something, right? Because there's always the yin and the yang. So if
That's an interesting.
we can
Yeah.
step back out of it and think of our soul and how it's evolving, and that's why we're here, and
Mhm.
we're doing it through all these experiences. And numerology just helps you to understand the energy that you have chosen to work with.
This is why I love these conversations. This is why we're having this podcast, is so that everyone can hear how amazing you are and how you
Oh,
simplify things and bring knowledge. Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, I can't speak for anyone else. I can only speak for myself, but sometimes it feels like you're fumbling around, and I'll get to this more in later in the podcast, but when I was younger and I would read my astrology reports, I didn't really feel like they identified with me as much. But when I got my numerology reading, I was like, where has this been my whole life? And numbers started presenting themselves to me. But we'll get into that. Okay, let's get to the destiny. Do you wanted to say anything more about the life path number before we get
no,
to destiny?
no.
Okay. So let's talk about the destiny and expression number.
Okay, so when I work with the letters, because every letter is represented by a number, and it goes by the alphabet, right?
Mhm.
So when I work with the letters, it's talking about what's going on inside of you. It's not
Okay.
energy that's coming towards you. It's what's inside of you.
Okay.
So when I add all your letters together, I get, how do you express yourself on your life path? When I look at the vowels in the name, the soft sound, this is your heart's desire. This is what keeps you passionate, motivated. And then the personality is the
Mhm.
hard sounds in the consonants in the name. And this is, how do you project yourself out to other people before you allow them into your heart?
Mm.
So your expression number, when we add everything together, is an 11-2. But when I do it on a deeper chart, and it would be a 38-11-2. So
Oh,
that 3 brings in that creativity. First off, I guess we'll back up.
okay.
The 11-2 is a master number, right?
Okay.
Everybody says, "Oh, I hope I have a master number." It's kind of like I'm going, well, you might really want to think about that because master number can be, this is how I was taught
Okay.
about the master numbers. I thought this was really good. Supposedly, and who knows, right? I'm a real
Right.
factual person, so who knows? This is kind of philosophical. Supposedly, you have gone through you've worked everything you want to do here on earth. You've done your job here. You've gone to the heavens, to the realms, and you're working up there and you're having a wonderful time. And all of a sudden you go, oh my God, I got to go back down there. I got things to do. I got people I need to help. So you come down and you hit the ground running. Most people don't understand you.
Hmm.
You don't understand them. There's usually there can be trauma, there can be something that happens in the younger part of your life, and that's just setting you up because the 11-2 is the master messenger. It wants you to take a message out to other people to inspire them, but it's a high vibration and you can't always live in that vibration. So what happens is when those two ones are fighting against each other and you just like, get out of my way, I got things to do. You drop back to that two. And the two is so different than one because two is all about peace and harmony and is soft, feminine energy. So there's a side to you that can be very strong and there's a side that very feminine.
Hmm.
2 and 8 get along very well together. 2, 4, and 8 are our business numbers. So 2 loves little details, likes the small things in life. If
Yeah.
I went to your home, I probably might find a lot of little trinkets or little things, and everything carries a memory to you. You can't get rid of it. Sometimes it's just too hard to get rid of things because of that. The
Yes.
memory. It's the memory. When you have a life path of a 8, 17 eights, that's 7 is the spiritual, and the 11-2, the master messenger. Hello, Dani. You are doing just exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and it feels comfortable to you.
It does.
Yeah.
It really, I'm having the most fun I've had in my adult life in a very long time. I needed the other experiences, which were also fun, but just, it definitely felt like I was like Sisyphus, like pushing the boulder uphill to only have it roll on top of me. And now I feel like the boulder's no longer there and things are flowing more easily. And I think that's all like what people talk about, and what you're saying is when you're in alignment and you're on the right path and you're doing what you're meant to be doing.
And that number 8 is constantly reevaluating, checking things
Yeah.
out. Now the 11-2 doesn't ground itself very well. A lot of times you find yourself chasing your tail. So you have to
Hmm.
be very careful that when you get into those times that you're in the higher vibration, that you allow yourself to get outside or just meditate. Or meditating is very hard for you because your mind goes constantly. That's the 11-2. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes I think that meditation has just been blown out of proportion. I think if people would just relax and
Mhm.
just sit in their chair for 10 or 15 minutes and stare out the window and just not be on their phones or not be in technology. I just think that makes such a big difference. You don't have to sit and for 45 minutes. It just take a
I
minute.
couldn't agree with you more. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I notice when I ocean swim and when I'm in the water, there's no technology. It's just you and nature, and it's like hiking in the water, and I come back from those ocean swims just feeling reborn, reinvigorated, washed the gunk off the heavy energy of the previous days or day. And it is my meditation. I mean, I do a meditation where I close my eyes and try to relax my body, but I don't. I think what you're saying is so valid. Forcing yourself to meditate how people tell you to meditate isn't always what's going to work for you. You're going to have to find
Right.
something that works for you where after you do it, it fills your cup,
Correct.
that's healthy for you, obviously.
So,
Yeah.
so true. Very interesting. You swim. Two, it needs to be around water. Two is
Yeah.
emotional. It's the moon. You like the moon cycles. You
I
probably go with the moon cycles a lot
I do.
because of the
I
two.
do.
Yeah. That's the two energy. Yeah. Yeah. So then when we get into your heart's desire, what makes you passionate? What keeps you happy? Now, this is a 1910 one, be a 3710 too. Um, the heart, the 1910 one is a lesson that you've come here to work through. And it would suggest that maybe in a past life, you took the power away from somebody. So in this lifetime, you had to feel powerlessness. And this was in your heart. So I don't know if it was in a relationship or it was family or there was something that took your heart away. So the power was taken away from you. Doesn't mean your whole life you're going to do this. You had to experience that because the soul said, I don't want to take that back with me. I want to
Hmm.
get through this. Um, I want to understand what it felt like. And now I'm going to go stand in my power because when we go 19, that makes a 10, then it makes a one. So ultimately the number is the number one. You just have to go through that experience. It's an interesting number. 1 and 9 together, they're on opposite spectrums, right? One is all about self. 9 is the humanitarian, the one who who's universal love, compassionate. So it has a strong pull to it. How much do I do for myself versus what do I do for everybody else? Blah, blah. It's but ultimately it's about learning how to stand in your power, lead with integrity, lead with because you have strong energy. Your soul was very smart because I read for the soul. I don't read for the ego. When I look at things, I'm always thinking, well, why did the soul do this? But your soul was very smart. It wanted you to be very strong and it wanted you to learn how to really stand in your power, how to run your own business, how to take care of others in a business way, I would so presume, but it has that level of softness in there because your birth date is also the two, and the two is your natural talents and abilities. So there, I have a feeling the two energy is very observant. It reads energy. It's very intuitive. We've talked about that being the
Yes.
intuition. 11-2 is very intuitive. So if you can slow yourself down just enough to be the observer and to listen, I suspect that words are actions. Words are not as important as the actions, and you see that in a different way than maybe other people don't. They miss it, but you don't want to doubt yourself. You don't want to. You want because that 1910 one can. Boy, sometimes it can doubt itself, and it can. But again, it's always about saying, okay, I'm going to stand in my power.
Yeah. No, this
That
is all
makes
very
sense.
accurate. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. I definitely learned at a very young age, actions speak louder than words. Unfortunately, I think like most people, you have to learn a lesson over the course of years and decades to really get it.
Yeah.
Just something as simple as Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe it. Um, Part of that intuitiveness and that ability to observe people is you can often see the best in everybody, but they're not ready to show you that consistently. So you can make excuses and doubt yourself and things like that. So there's some of that in there. And I think, like you said, it's the energy doesn't carry a good or bad with it. It's just very factual. This person is not at a place where they're ready to have their words match their actions. And my decision then becomes, how do I want to respond and react to that? And that's been the lesson, right? Not
Right.
talking about power, not wanting to control it, not wanting to make that person be at a place where I know they can be or whatnot, but accepting of that. And then accepting of the fact that just because I can see it and feel it doesn't make it tangible in this moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work. When you sit and look at somebody's chart, some charts I go, wow, this soul really came to get some work done. Um, and you have, like I said, you have very strong energy, and you're right. You've had to learn how to tame it.
Yes. Very much like a wild animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a killer whale who just wants to flip over every boat. I've had to be like, no, not the best idea. That's not going to work. We tried that. It didn't go as planned.
Yeah. And then your
Yeah.
personality, what you project out to other people. It's the one and that one. So and the interesting thing too is when I see somebody with a lot of one energy, eight energy in their chart, I never go into it believing that I'm going to convince them of anything ever. You're going to take what you need and you're going to leave the rest. That's what a one
Yes.
will do,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
I have one energy too, so that's why you and I connect.
Definitely.
I have the 1910 one. That's my expression.
Oh,
Yeah, and my life path is a 6. So
okay.
my powerlessness has definitely come through relationships. Your powerlessness is, well, it's in your heart. It's in your heart. So I don't know how it's worked for you, but um was it relationship based?
I mean, I was married to my job in my past life. So there was
Yeah.
that relationship.
Mhm.
Um, but I also think, I was bullied a lot growing up. I moved around a bit, and I think really now that I'm older and I see the pattern and the purpose behind a lot of the things that happen in my life, and view them, as cheesy and trite as it might sound, as blessings. I think the powerlessness might just be my inability
There you go.
to, if I volunteered to come here to make people better and deliver this message and feel like I could change the world and make it a better place, like what I'm trying to do with Danny Golden, it's really putting the information out there and letting people come to it on their own. You can't force anything. And I think
No.
that's been like a pattern of, in my career when I was in a toxic work environment, when I worked in entertainment, I loved the work so much. My boss and my boss's boss were not the healthiest individuals. And, I thought that I could make them kind. I thought that I could make them considerate. I thought that I could show them how to view things from my perspective. And that just wasn't going to happen. That's not reasonable thinking. So I think that's powerlessness. Learning where, learning that you could love something, but that is not the right environment for you. I mean, that was a very, I was, not terrified. I was, devastated. It felt like a breakup. It felt like I can't do this thing that I love, that I thought was where I was going, and I'm not going there. So there was a feeling of
Yeah, there
powerlessness
you go.
there. I think in um not romantic relationships, but just honestly interactions I've had with difficult situations, just people where we don't see the situation the same way, recognizing, like you said, you can't come in like, a bull in a china shop. I can't go flipping over the boat. I have to be patient with myself, calm down, get to a place where I try to find different ways and styles of communicating with that individual to see if there's a way that we can work through it. And what I found is with most, if not all people and situations, there has been whether it's you agree to disagree, you agree not to be friends anymore, you agree not to work together anymore. Um, I don't feel like I walk away from that situation hating anybody. And I would like to think that that's reciprocated.
Yeah, that's interesting because that's the 9. unconditional love, forgiveness,
Right.
letting
Like,
go.
I don't want to hate anybody. Like, that's just a horrible emotion. So I can hate a situation that's happening, but I don't want to walk away or carry hatred towards anyone. Um, and I find that if I hate someone or I am very angry about a situation I can't control, it then I'm giving something or someone, um they're living rent free in my mind, and then that's not fair to me, so then I'm powerless over that situation
Right.
because I'm giving them the power to impact my life when they're really not impacting my life. It's a situation that I'm trying to navigate. So that has been an ongoing theme, and I think I've gotten significantly better, and I'm really proud of myself, but it has not been easy.
Yeah. I think you have too. And I think you're brilliant in saying, explaining that they, losing your power isn't necessarily from somebody else taking it from you. We take our own power away. We don't
Right.
need anybody else to do it. And there can be situations certainly that people that does happen, but a lot of times I see it's the own person trying to work through self-confidence, self-esteem, all of those issues, and it gets revved up a little bit. And I think it gets revved up for you because of that 8 life path.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Wants you to experience, wants you to reevaluate, check things out. And I think in our conversations, the important thing for people to realize is uh, we're not just one number.
Right.
And one number can be, like I said, a 17-8 is different than a 26-8 or a
Hmm.
35-8 or a 44-8. They all have a vibration that's a little bit different. So really important. That's why it's so important to have a reading. So you
Hmm.
could really just dig down and find out about it.
Yeah, and I think it adds context. What it's done for me is added context to why similar situations might be reoccurring, or I feel a certain way, and there's validation to that. And who doesn't want that or need that? It's helpful information. Like, it's that seven in me, like you said. Like, I want to do the research and understand how can I prevent this situation from happening again, because I'm not. This is not how I want my life to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're willing to take that deep dive because the energy you carry supported it.
And then I have soul, urge, and personality.
That's what we just did. Heart's
Oh, that's what we
desire.
just
That's what
did.
I
Okay.
call the heart's desire.
Well, I'm glad you clarified. For
Yeah.
us layman people who don't know it as well as you
Well,
do.
we have one more position
Okay.
in the chart.
Yeah.
At a certain age, excuse me, we
Hmm.
add the life path and the expression number together to get what we call the maturity number. Okay. What are we
Okay.
going to do at the end of our life, right?
Oh,
Yeah. And how you get that number is you subtract your life path from 36. Okay.
okay.
Your maturity number is the one.
Oh,
It's a 109, 55, 28, 19, 10.
I
It's
had to go a lot of places before I got there.
oh shoot, which
Funny.
says that you are going to stand in your power. You are going to win the fight. You're going to be very proud of yourself. Very the entrepreneur that's helping everybody, that's working with everybody. Because that one energy, again, it's all about self. And it's interesting because there's a 10 in there, and that zero just amplifies that one 10 times stronger. It's like because it's gone through 1 through 9,
Hmm.
the new birth. It's a new adventure. It's a new. Sometimes we don't even know what it is, what the vision is yet, but
Right.
and that comes in around for you. Oh, you're going to be starting some not big changes, but you're going to be starting some changes because and I don't want to jump the gun, but you're
Okay.
also changing a pentacles and a lot of things. It's all good. What I
Okay.
see is very good. Yeah.
Okay.
Always, always good. We never go to the other side.
I feel like I've been
No.
to the other side. I'm ready to be on the good
Yeah,
side.
that's right. That's right.
I've spent enough time on that side. Let's be on this side.
Yeah. You've done the work.
Uh,
Let's put it that way, right?
well, thank you.
You've done the work. You don't need to. I mean, there's always going to be challenges, you
Yeah.
know. People
Yeah.
say to me, when does it end? Trust me, it doesn't end. We still have challenges, no matter how old we are. But it's the wisdom that gets greater and greater and greater, and it's the ability to say that's really not an issue. I don't even need to be there. So
Right.
life gets better as we get older. I
I agree. And the gratitude of the knowledge, the
think.
wisdom,
Most
like being able to
definitely.
view it from that lens, that's like a whole new level. I was like, nobody told me about this. This is amazing, or they tried to, and I was just too dumb to pick it up. So
No, or just didn't want to hear it at the time.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing. And that's what you said, that you had a numerology reading when you were in your 20s.
Yes, I did. I had a group of friends that wasn't the healthiest of relationships where they took me to a numerology reading and I didn't really know what was happening and they sat in on it, which you're not supposed to do for all the people listening. It's a very private thing. This is because I'm using my numbers to help educate everybody. So
Yeah,
I'm very comfortable with this. But
right.
yeah, when you do a numerology reading, it should be your personal reading. It should be private. It should be something that you and your numerologist review and discuss. But yes, I did have this reading. My friends insisted they sat in, and I really didn't retain much of the numbers, but I do remember people being like, "Whoa, wow, that's super cool. Like I knew that or whatever." But I was too young. I was in my 20s to really retain the information and have it mean anything. And I think I was just more I wasn't with the right people in the right situation. And as everybody listening to this podcast can know how much that an impact a life. Like you could be thriving because you're simply in the right environment, and you could be drowning because you're simply not in the right environment.
Yeah,
So it
right.
was a perfect example of that. So yeah, I did. I had a numerology. And then
Yeah,
I go
it's
ahead.
it's funny that that was put in your life way
I
back
know
then. Yeah,
it is. It
you have to
is.
love it.
I do. I do. I'm actually in the process of kind of seeing, like I said earlier, things coming together and being like, oh, that's why that happened, or that
Yeah,
was interesting, or that was thrown in there, or how cool is that? And the story and how it's led me to here. And the gratitude I have is just immense because it's like who's running the show? Because I didn't I don't it's not me.
no. Oh
Yeah.
no. I always say when I transition, the first place I'm going is to the logistics department because I
Right.
want to know how they set this up.
Right. Somebody's got to tell me how did you whiteboard this? Like what
Amazing.
did this look like?
Totally amazing.
You've got this person over here connected to this thing, and then you pull this thread. It's
Yes.
like,
And
yeah,
then this person comes in and solves the problem, and he's like, wow, this is
I
really
know.
cool. So much
I know. And
fun.
if I had just sat and relaxed, I would have been fine the whole time. Like, no,
Yes. Let it happen.
uh,
I think that's a lot what happens as we get older.
right,
That's why we can manifest a little bit better. And that's why things just seem to fall in place, is because we're not fighting for them. We're not trying so hard to get out there and make it happen. We're like,
right.
okay. Because I had somebody ask me once, what do you do for marketing? I said, well, I talk to my people and they bring it in for me. When I'm supposed to have people, I get lots of them. When I'm not, then I need a break.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah, that's like that Sisyphus reference. It's really sitting back and letting life run the show, and it's knowing when to put your foot on the pedal, and when work is needed, and then when rest is needed.
And that's where numerology comes in, because
Mhm.
we can look at the cycles and we can
Absolutely.
see when to push, when to pull. Um, Sorry about that. My husband just
Oh, it's
came in with
okay.
a lawnmower.
It's
Life
okay.
goes on.
Life goes on. Um, yeah, so let's talk about that. Why do people turn to numerology? Do you yeah, why are more people you think why today? Like it seems like more people are being drawn to numerology.
they're curious. A lot of it's just curious. They don't know. And it's a modality that hasn't been widespread, like I said, in America. Over in
Hmm.
the UK, they're brought up with
Oh.
numerology and tarot. Tarot came from numerology. And if you think
Oh,
about it, astrology can't be done without numbers. Nothing can be
right.
done without numbers.
No.
Numbers are in everything, and everything can be calculated. So, um, a lot, it's like I said, the curiosity. Sometimes people they're at a crossroad and they just don't know which way to go. Now, I can't tell people what road to take, but I can
Hmm.
tell them what energy is around them. The energy is not going to go away. It's not, if we're having a bad year or a bad month, it would be important to reach out and find out what the energy it wants from you, because then you
Right.
can lean into it to get the most out of it.
Hmm.
But when you feel at your crossroad or your guts all turning all the time and you got this resistance, that's exactly what it is. You're resisting the energy that is around you.
Play that
So
game.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But it's so much fun that when I do readings for people, or because I have my monthly reviews that I do with people, and we get together and to see how it has settled people down just by
Hmm.
knowing, well, this month I need to work really hard. This is what the energy, because next month it's going to be about play.
Yeah.
It's going to be about travel,
Hmm.
movement, expansion. So it's just little things like that. Yeah.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, relationships too is a big one.
Hmm.
And and just as long as I have the other person's permission, I mean, if you are in a relationship and the other person doesn't want to come to it, because a lot of times hubby really doesn't care, but the
Yeah.
wife is interested.
Hmm.
As long as I have the permission of him to do it, then I can do compatibility. Why is it? Why is it stuck right now? What's going on with the two energies that's not moving? What needs to be done? How can we break that up and make it more comfortable for him?
I love that. What do you think are some, well, I have debunking misconceptions like that numerology is not fortune telling, it's a reflective tool. The differences between numerology and astrology, and how it can complement and not replace other spiritual tools and things that we use for growth.
Not everybody is ready for reading.
Yeah.
Not everybody. And and if you're not ready for a reading, then it's not worth your money
Yeah.
because you're not going to pick up on what you need to hear.
Hmm.
Um, I used to do every Saturday morning, the first Saturday of every month. I used to bring in two numerologists, an astronumerologist, a psychic medium, an astrologer, and a tarot card reader, and we would take one chart and we
Oh,
would break
wow.
it down. All of us would come to the same conclusion. Our interpretations might have been a little bit different, but we were all coming to the same conclusion. Energy is energy. It doesn't matter what modality we're using. We are going to the energy is the energy.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
great.
if you had a reading from me and then went to a tarot card, had a tarot card reading, you're going to get some of the same information. It's just
Right.
amazing. That's
That
I
is.
guess that's what I love about it. It's because and some people like astrology better than, well, they don't know
Hmm.
about numerology,
Right.
um but it doesn't matter. You need a reading of some sort to get you to pull it together to understand the energy around you, in my
I love
opinion.
that. And then I just have here on my personal journey into numerology, as Sue hinted, and we talked about briefly where I had a numerology reading. After everything kind of hit the fan for me and my life went down the toilet, I remember building myself and my life back up, and I kept seeing the number 44 everywhere, everywhere. to the point where it was like annoying. And it got so bad where I literally was asking one of my friends whose boyfriend at the time happened to be into numerology, and he looked it up, and everyone said the same thing. It was like the number, you have to figure out what the numbers mean to you. And what you and I laughed about is that 44 is a split eight. So I always kind of saw it. And the message I got was that balance, balance. If you are not balanced, like, and maybe it's like spirit, earth energy or whatever, but there was like one level of balance and another level, like, let's split it in half. Let's make this digestible. And it also, if I was traveling in an unfamiliar area, I usually would see it and it would be like, oh, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
kind of, yeah,
When you see numbers of sequences, it really is important. When you see one, it puts you right in the present,
yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah.
Slows you right down, puts you right in the present. It's like, whoa.
Well, because you're
Um,
like,
yeah. So they're tapping you on the shoulder.
right.
So what are you thinking about? What are you feeling? What are why do they want you to slow down right then? Important. I see 333 all the time. One night I woke up every hour, 111, 222, 333, 444 to 55. And finally I'm going, I get it. I get it. Okay. I just want to sleep. What are you doing to me? But it was quite an interesting night. And what they were up to that night, I don't know, but um, they wanted
That's
me to
yeah.
be aware.
And I remember when I did my first numerology reading with you in 2023. I remember hey dog, I was frustrated with feeling more
Oh,
tired and introspective, and you had said, well, this is just a year where you're, feeling more tired, and you were right. And next year I was going to feel more ready, and that was very interesting. We talked about my last name, Golden, and that being joy and creativity, and it's funny
right.
because in society people are like, oh, that's so golden, and it makes people smile. So I thought that was a very interesting thing. So this is just a great. We're going to begin and wrap it up because we're going to get into some more details in episode 2. But I just wanted to share with you, the audience, this wonderful resource, Sue, and how numerology can help you understand your strengths, your challenges, your life cycles, and why you feel called in certain directions. Um, Sue, how did you become? Let's end this podcast with, how did you become a numerologist?
Well, when I was younger, I was very psychic, and it wasn't accepted. It just, they didn't know how to handle it. So I shut it down probably around 13, 14. And I remember when I was like in my 30s, I kept praying and show me the modality that I can use to open myself back up. And it wasn't until I was in my early 50s that I was listening to a podcast. It was a numerologist and a psychic medium. And I thought, well, I've heard about that modality, but I've never tried it. So I called her and got a reading. I was blown away because she was out of state. I'm not on social media. There was absolutely no way she could have known what she was telling me. So I started buying books. I have a lot of 7 energy, so I started to dive in. I wanted to know it. And I realized I wasn't getting everything I needed in the books. So I called her back and I said, would you mentor me? And she did for a short time. And then she said, you've got to go out and do readings. That's where you're going to learn. Oh my God. I was scared to
You're probably
death.
terrified.
I was scared to death. So what I did was I took 1 year and I did free readings 1 year. And by the end of the year, I was booked solid. So that was a good sign.
Yes.
Um, and I learned so much, and I appreciated all those people that put up with me because at the beginning was horrifying. Uh, Yes, but now I study with the Coniston School of Numerology in the UK, and I will
Wow.
probably study with them for as long as I'm doing this because this is always evolving as I'm evolving. A one will always be a one no matter what, but it evolves in different ways when I look at it in the charts. So,
I love that. Okay, well, we're gonna have to talk offline about your psychic stuff that happened when you were a kid.
yeah, it was
I'm
big.
very interested in that. Okay, so tell everyone how they can find you to get a reading.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Healingnumbers22.com. You go right to my website and you can just go in and get into my calendar, sign up, and yeah, I'm there. I can't wait to meet people. I just get so excited because I love meeting people. I love helping people. Just if I get just a little bit, I've done a good job. But usually it's a big bit. People leave with their eyes glazed over, going, "Wow,
Yeah.
how does she know that?" But I
You
think
yeah.
next time, I think it's really
Mhm.
important that we talk more about the cycles, right?
Okay.
The pentacles, the challenges, the transits, the essences. There's still so much more to a chart than just the core
The main
energy.
numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna revise the outline so that we can get into
nice.
that more because I think that is a great suggestion and I love it. And please contact Sue. She is amazing. Healing Numbers 22. That is a wrap for part one. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe and visit DaniGolden.com so you don't miss the next episode. We'll see you in part two. Thank you,
Nice.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye.